the legacy of hope.
So you are welcome to Adjen Kotoku, suburb of Accra. When you are driving from Accra towards Pokwase and towards Amasaman, heading out of Accra, you will see that on the Media Junction, you make a U-turn and you drive into Adjen Kotoku. There's a famous onion selling point market. And just behind, there's a secondary school, Adjen Kotoku Senior High School. So the hospital is just opposite the school. And the last time I was here, all these places were filled with the contractor's stores. But now he's no more there because we have defaulted payment. And so the work has been put on hold. But we are hoping that in this month, today is the 6th of March, Independence Day. So we are hoping before the middle of March, the contractor will be back to work. But we need to support this project because we are left with about 9 million to pay so that the project will be handed over officially. So I just invite you to come along. We want to explore the building and to see what is left to be done and what we have done. As you can see, we have done a lot. And what is left to be done is just a few things, a few touch-ups. So I just invite you, come with me, and then you will see what this Lenten season we are trying to achieve with our charity. God bless you. So this is the walkway. Of course, we can wheel people in beds here. And you can see all of this has been done. But we need to do the balustrade. The balustrade has not been done. So that's one of the things that has not been done. If you look up here, you can see that even wiring has been done. So all the wires have been laid through. What is left with is the installment of whatever the wires must take, whether it is the light, whether it is the fans, whatever it is. But the major work has been done. So this is the walkway. Come along and then we go. We are just around the first floor. And as I mentioned, all of this place, we need to build the balustrade. So that's one of the major things that is left to be done. So please come with the second floor. That's where the wards start. So for those who were generous enough to adopt a ward, we'll be going in there and we'll be seeing some of the wards that has been adopted. Currently, we have almost all the wards adopted except one. Today is the 6th of March. And so we just want to encourage individual societies to mobilize and come along so that we can do a great work for God. So you saw the terrazzo has been done, even the floor tiles have been done. A few of the floor tiles that has not been done is because technically we want to move the machines before they can complete it, but majority of that has been done. I mentioned to you that all the wires have been run through, so what is left with is just the installation of the switches. But at the first floor, we have some of the wards here. And when we go through this direction, we will capture some of the wards, and some of the consulting rooms are also here. On all this stretch are wards. Basically, most of all the wards are on this stretch of the building. You know, the building is basically an L shape. So this side of the building are where all the wards are, with the theaters at the corners. There are 2 theaters in this hospital. And this is, so to say, a waiting area that can, people who have their loved ones in the wards and everything can wait. There is a beautiful balcony. Let me take you to the balcony, which would also aid people who are waiting for their loved one in the wards. When they come, they can sit outside here and take a breeze, a beautiful breeze. You know, so it's a well-designed building that does not seek to only bring healing in terms of medicine, but even the environment can cause healing. So as I mentioned, this is a beautiful balcony. I mean, it's huge. Once the balustrades are done, then it will be well protected and people can, you know, sit here. We can even have some little bit of cafeteria here just to let people relax as they wait on the news of the recovery of their loved ones. So a well-designed plan, and I mean, you have also a beautiful view to look at the beauty of Accra. Okay, so you are welcome to still on the first floor. This is day-in wards. There are 2 day-in wards, and we just want to take you into one of the day-in wards to appreciate the space. I know some people pick the day-in ward for the first floor, so if you can just come in and you look at the day-in ward. So this basically is the day-in ward, right? And on the first floor with the bathhouse and the toilet here. So it is just within the space, a beautiful place. I am sure it can take, according to the wires that are around, I'm sure it can take about 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 beds. This day-in ward also links up to the first day-in ward that we saw, and you see a beautiful link up. So they share bathhouse. There are 3 bathhouses here, or 3 toilets with sinks. So there's 1 bathhouse and then 2 toilets, and then it walks into the second day-in ward. So you can see this is another day-in ward. It's a small space. Of course, I've been told that day-in wards are places that people are kept for just observation. But the proper wards will be on the second floor. So this is the first floor. So please come along. Yeah. So this is the nurse station. You know, every hospital needs a nurse station. And as I mentioned, all the wards are here. So the nurse station is here so that they can attend to all the wards. As you see here, there is 1 ward here. This is another ward. So the wards are on the right and on the left. And this is a dirty utility area. Of course, the nurses are close by. And this is a treatment room, but the wards are here. These are quite sizable wards. And we are still on the first floor. So for those who adopted the first floor wards, these are some of the wards that will be named after your preference, you know. So there's a huge ward here. All these are wards, and this is another ward. So it's a beautiful design, as you can see, and the wards are so close to the nurses so that when there is any need, they can attend to your needs. Still on the first floor, there is a theater on the first floor. There's a theater on the ground floor, but also there are 2 theaters on the first floor. So you can see the recovery room. Immediately they are done with the theater, they bring you to the recovery room, and the wards are just here. So it all lines up. And this is the doctor's office. So if you come along, you will notice that the doctor will just have to enter this space where he has the toilet and the changing room. So you will see the changing room here. There are 2 changing rooms for the doctors who will do the operation, and then they will walk through and appear at the theater. So if you just look at me, I'll walk through, and then we are at the theater. So after they have washed themselves, then they come here and perform the surgery. This is the equipment storeroom, and then they come out this way, you know, to the clean store, and then to the recovery area, and then to the wards. That's how it is designed. It is the same design also which is on the ground floor in terms of the theater. You will notice that the theater floor tiles have not been laid, and they have not been laid because we are told that the equipment must determine the kind of tiles that we lay here, and so that is on the hold. Once the equipment comes, then we will determine which kind of tiles will be laid. So we are climbing up. This is the side of the ward. So we are from the first floor going to the second floor. So come along, and then we will see how the wards also line up here beautifully. So you are welcome to the second floor, as I mentioned, and on my left or my right are all wards. Now, some of them are smaller wards, like the one on my left right now. It's a small ward that can take about 2 beds. But what is amazing about these wards is that they are all self-contained, as we like to say it in Ghana, which means that you have a bit of privacy, and the toilet facilities, everything is within. On my left is another ward, it's a bigger ward. So for all those who took wards on the second floor. These are the wards. The wards on my right side are all huge and big. The one on my left, some of them are big, some of them are small. So this one, for example, where I have reached, is a very small ward, which has about 2 people. So this is where the wards end, and this is the nurse station. So it is very similar to what is in the first floor. And then there's another ward here, because there are no theaters here. There's another ward here. Here we have a spare room, and then a storeroom here, and this is the Ward 8. But amazing, and this is a surprise, that along this line, as we look at the wards, we are basically entering into the chapel. This is the chapel space. So once you have left your loved ones in the ward, you come in, you say a prayer. Sometimes people need a bit of sleep. You have been with your ward, you have been with your child is sleeping, you don't know what to do. Just leave, come, spend about 30 minutes whilst the child sleeps and pray to God. That's the beauty of this hospital. It's not just a hospital that will heal your physical ailment, but it will be a hospital that will be there even spiritually for you. And we know that as Catholics, we understand that the healing power of God is seen both spiritually and physically. In Mark chapter 2, Jesus healed the paralytic, but before then he said, your sins are forgiven. That's both a spiritual and a physical healing. So that's what we'll be doing here. So similar to the first floor, as we are in the second floor, this is a day-in ward. As I mentioned, day-in wards are places where people are kept just for observation. The wards are places actually for those who are recuperating for a very long time. And the design is basically the same. So this is one of the day-in wards in the second floor. And if you walk through this way, you come to the 2 toilets and the bathhouse, which connects to the other day-in ward, as we saw in the first one. So you will see that that's 2 toilets, male, female, and then the bathhouse. So it connects beautifully, and then we walk from one day ward into another day-in ward. And as you can see, as I mentioned, it's not a place where people are kept for a very long time, as the doctors have explained. So, and then it leads out this way. So this is the second floor basically. And let me show you the play area for our children, because it's just opposite the day-in ward. This is the room for the play area. As you can see, this is the playroom area. I mean, to be well designed to suit children. So the consulting rooms will be over there, and once the children are waiting for whatever reason, they can have a play here, a playtime here. Or perhaps you have come with other kids, they are 2, and one is in admission, the other one is just there. You can have a playroom area for him here as you take care of things at the ward. So here again, we are at the second floor, and this is some waiting area basically for those who will be going to the wards and all of that. We have a conference room for the doctors at the back, and here is a storeroom. So we want to go to the 3rd floor. That's the final floor to see what is there. All along the consulting rooms, there are always bathrooms here. So from the ground floor up all this side, this part of the building are all made of washrooms. So this is the washroom area. You have 4 washrooms, and opposite is also 4 washrooms, and each of them you have a sink here, so that when you finish, you just wash your hand and then you can go. So that's an example of a washroom, but there are 4, and the opposite is also 4, so that's 8 on each floor. On the ground floor, you have 1 that is specially made for the disability people. Okay, so come along, we are going to the final floor. We are coming from the 2nd floor, and we are going to the 3rd floor. Again, you can see that the balustrade has not been done. It's one of the things that when the contractor returns, he will do. But all the windows has been done. And so one of the things is to do the balustrade, to do the fittings, and it will be all done. Now, here, we can have an appreciation of the ceiling. You can see that the ceiling has been done. So as you can see, there is a part, just a small part that has not been closed yet, and it is because works have not been completely done. So all the rest, the ceiling has been done except this part, so that if there is anything left to be done, they can use this as an entry point and then do that. But that's it. You can see the truss is beautifully done, and a certain silver lining to absorb heat. It's a beautiful work that the contractor has done. So on the 3rd floor, we have the breastfeeding room. You have some offices at the back, and then as usual, we take a walk towards the wards. So we have here the patient's lounge. When some patients have come and maybe they are waiting for one thing or another, there's a beautiful room here that they can relax, television with AC and everything, and then they can wait for what they are longing for in terms of seeing the doctor or receiving their medication, or even if they have you are a patient and you have been in a room for a very long time and you just want to take a walk, sit with other patients and have a chat. The patient's lounge is there for you. So we are on the final floor. This is the 3rd floor, and as usual, both on my right and on my left, we have wards. This is a huge ward on the 3rd floor, very big. There are 2 very big wards here, this and that one. That's the 2nd big ward. They are very huge. I think they are the biggest of them all. And then we have some spare rooms. They are not wards, but they are just spare rooms, just in case as we run the hospital, we realize that some other facilities are necessary. And as you walk there, you will find another ward. But on this stretch, so this is a private ward. So you can see with its bathhouse, it's private. We have a number of them. Only on the 3rd floor, we have about 4 private wards. And this is an example of a private ward for someone who wants his privacy. Sometimes you have certain dignitaries who want to be attended to. So this ward will be for them. And there are other samples around. So I am entering the neonatal intensive care unit. This is the neonatal intensive care unit. Babies, incubators, this is where they will be. And they have the privilege of having been on the 3rd floor to have a good view of Accra. So this is the reason why we are calling on our support, especially this Lenten season. Look, in the Archdiocese of Accra, I believe that we are more than 50,000 Catholics. And the reason why I believe that we are more than 50,000 Catholics is because we have over 180 churches in the Archdiocese of Accra. Now think of it. If you even divide 50,000 by 180, then you are getting just a few numbers within the church space. And this is the reason why if we all decide to sacrifice our charity works this Lenten season for the 40 days, this project and the money that is left to finish this project will be done. Remember, I told you that we have paid the contractor about 22,900,000. What we are left with is about 9 million to complete payment. So we just want to urge each one of us, whatever you have, the envelopes that has been given to us every week, put in the best that you can. As Jesus would say, put in your all. Don't give your surplus. Put in your all, because we are making a sacrifice this 40 days. A sacrifice out of our own hunger in order to feed the next generation, in order to give hope to children who are sick. God bless you all.
My dear brothers and sisters, what unity of purpose can do will blow your mind. We cannot be divided on this matter. Let us, hand in hand with the Archbishop, our Chief Shepherd, put all our resources together in this very special season of Lent. Bring all the Lenten observance, charity, for wherever you wanted to send it, put it all together, and let's do this for God and for the little ones who will frequent this place for their healing. Anytime any one of them enters and comes out and is healed, or anytime any one of them accesses this place, it is a blessing to you and I. God bless you for thinking this and doing this. God bless you.